Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Roll Up Varsity. I am Connor.
This your boy Sticks.
Sticks, good to have you back this week, man.
I
We went
appreciate you holding it
went
down last
solo
weekend.
last week. Was a lot of talking on my end, so I'm glad to have somebody back to kind of take a little bit of it away from me.
Hey, we 1-1 right now. I had to do it one time. You had to do it one time. So
We
let's
are
get it. Let's
even,
get it.
man. But you kind of you found a way to stay out of last week's predictions. I'm no longer 100% on
No.
my predictions. I Unfortunately, I went with the home, like the closer to home school on a gentleman's a prediction for a commitment that we'll talk about here later in just a minute.
Oh
Um,
man.
Unfortunately, I went against my gut and predicted the hometown school or the closer to home school and was incorrect. So I have now missed one, but I was correct on the other. I think it was four of them
You hey,
that I
always got to go with the gut.
predicted, but. Other than that, man, it's like I said, it's good to have you back. Let's let everybody know what you got into over the last 2 weeks now, since we missed you last week, and get into the show.
Yes, sir. Hey, first off, always go with the gut, man. And still, we predict better than a lot of these sites out there. So having that one off while you went and you had four right, you still got to pat yourself on the back. We still do this over here at Varsity. I'm gonna talk my stuff. But yeah, let's see if I remember how to do this podcast thing. It's been a little while. I've been real busy over these past 2 weeks. I'm back into the car business. I really didn't want to get back into the car business because I'm a real competitive person. So like the best way you got to be the first one in. Like the best way to be the number one guy, you got to be first one in, last one out. So like today I was off. I went in, sold the car to actually Chris Steele. He used to be at the University of Florida, then went over to USC, and then he went over and he was picked up as an undrafted free agent by the Pittsburgh Steelers, and then now he's with the practice squad with the Dolphins. So I actually just sold him a car today, and it was my off day. So I think since I started, I haven't taken a day off, and I've been working back at the car dealership for like 3 weeks. So, oh man, it's just I knew it was gonna be like that. I don't really take off days. I want to be number one, so I work for it, and that's really all I've been doing. I haven't done nothing in any of these weekends. I've been out of the loop of everything. I've been off social media, so just been grinding, man. Got to provide for my daughter, and that's how I've been doing it. How about you? I know you did something, or at least I'm gonna live through you right here. Tell me
Yeah,
what you
man.
did.
So Friday night, I went down to Lakeland High School. Saw Lakeland play Osceola. It was a phenomenal game. The weather sucked, but it was a great game. Lakeland ended up squeaking that thing out, 25-22. But Florida commit Jakeem Jackson for Osceola was a baller. He had two huge plays in, I think it was the first half of that game, where he took a bubble screen 68 yards to the house and then also had a 42-yard catch and run for a touchdown. Was definitely the biggest impact player for Osceola. Cormani McClain had an interception. Tyler Williams was actually held pretty quiet, man, by Jakeem Jackson on the other side of the ball. Dadrian Zipper had a decent night, had a couple catches, but with as much as the rain as there was, it was hard to get the passing game going. It was a lot more on the ground, a lot more defense heavy in that game. But other than that, man, just hung out. My sister had like a big party on Saturday, so wife and I were there for a little bit. I was trying to sneak away as every chance I got to watch some football, but we were hanging out a little bit, getting into some fun with some family. And other than that, man, just glad to be back in the swing of things and back on the pod.
Hey, I'm glad one of us did something this weekend. And the Lakeland game really shows you why you don't throw at the number one corner in the nation. I mean, most teams have kind of got the memo not to test them. Cormani McLean, that is. And I mean, here we get to see what happens when you test him. Got his first INT of the season, but hey, there's a reason why it's the first. It's because nobody throws at him. It's not for lack of actual ability. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Absolutely, man. But before we get started with anything, obviously, I want to shout out our title sponsor, Intense Fitness. Intense Fitness is an elite one on one personal training facility located at 1536 East Commercial Boulevard in Oakland Park, Florida. Established in 2012, they've developed a reputation for training all walks of life, from high level athletes to the senior communities. Mention you heard about Intense Fitness on the Roll Up Varsity podcast to receive a complimentary workout and evaluation. Once again, guys, that's Intense Fitness at 1536 East Commercial Boulevard in Oakland Park, Florida. Mention that you heard about them from the Roll Up Varsity crew, myself, or Curtis, and they will give you a complimentary workout and evaluation for your time. And now, Curtis, you want to jump into the very few top schools that we have this week?
Yeah, I'm gonna jump in. Before that, hey, go show love to Intense Fitness. Hey, very close to home to me. My dad actually is an owner there, and hey, he's actually had some real talent run through there. So if you have a goal that you want to achieve, pop out, mention us, and get that session in. But let's get into these top schools. Like me and Connor have mentioned many, many times, because we're going deep into the season. They actually dwindled down. So it actually dwindled to none. So we're focused on the 2024 class, as right now we're in 2023. So going to the 2024 class, we have a huge name that many people who are tapped into the recruiting world may know, DJ Lagway out of Willis, Texas. He's narrowed his list down to 10 schools, which I repeatedly say for a 2024 kid is really impressive to really knock down to 10 schools when you have all that time ahead of you. So those 10 schools are Arkansas, LSU, Texas A&M, Oklahoma, Florida, Georgia, USC, Clemson, Alabama, and Baylor. That shows you what type of talent that he has. 2024 kid having those type of top 10s and those type of offers. And in my opinion, the best quarterback next cycle. It's something that a lot of people may rival and argue, but that's my opinion personally. And then going to 2020, moving on to the D lineman, Kavion Henderson out of Alabama. He's narrowed his list down to 5 schools, which is even more impressive. Like I said, for a 2024 kid, 5 schools, that's a big commitment there. And he's listed Arkansas, Auburn, Oklahoma, Georgia, and Alabama, and he's actually set a commitment date. So that's why he slimmed the list down so much. He kind of knows where he goes, and November 6th, we're going to find out where he decides to take his talents.
Yeah, really excited to see where those kids end up. Obviously, two of the upper echelon prospects in that class. So for them to narrow their lists down to 10 and 5, respectively, obviously, Kavion Henderson has a commitment date set. So that's impressive for a 2024 kid. I know DJ Lagway is somebody that wants to get his commitment out of the way relatively early in the process, probably towards the spring or summer of next year, before he goes into his senior season so that he can help recruit for his class. So that'll be another one to watch for over the next, well, that's quite a ways away, but still, I think we're about 6 to 8 months away from his commitment should something drastic not happen. So then
Right.
we're going to move over to our
Real
scheduled
quick though,
commitments. Yeah, go ahead.
real quick. Do you want to make a prediction on Kavion? I know. So usually, if we set a commitment date, we're gonna do predictions. But this one's tough because I know I
Yeah,
have no info on it at
yeah,
all.
I haven't. Make a prediction on that one for the scheduled commitments as we get closer to his commitment date. I haven't really looked into his recruitment enough to feel comfortable making a prediction there. Um,
There's
so
3
if
teams I know in it. There's 3 teams I know: Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Alabama. So those are really. He can, and the thing is, he could still go to Georgia or Auburn. I could definitely see him going to Georgia. I don't really see him going to Auburn, but I could definitely see it happening. Like Georgia ends up messing around and shocking everybody, but it's tough. I think it's really Oklahoma or Alabama, but I could see him definitely going to Arkansas.
Yeah,
So
we'll
what's that
go a
back
little
end?
bit
What's
further
that back
into
end?
that once we get closer to his commitment date.
Yeah.
But speaking of commitment dates, We've got a couple of big ones happening over the next week or so. One of them will happen before we release the podcast. Obviously, we record on Tuesday nights. We drop the pod on Thursdays. So we're going to go into 4-star number 10 wide receiver Jalen Hale from Longview, Texas. He's set to commit tomorrow, which is Wednesday, September 21st. Hale will choose between Texas, Alabama, and Georgia, which was his final three that was announced quite a few months ago. Prediction there, Curtis?
I got Texas. I mean, I'm not really tapped in with his recruitment, but the way Texas has been recruiting and it's his hometown, I'm gonna go Texas, but you can never count out Bama or Georgia. But let's get into Texas. That's what I'm gonna put my prediction into.
Yeah, we don't often disagree, and we're not going to here.
Okay. You
So
you let me on right there. I'm like, hold on.
yeah, no, I definitely think it's Texas. Jonte Cook is somebody that I saw recruiting him heavily in person at Future 50, and somebody that has been very vocal on the Texas side of things. I think Alabama is a close second in that recruitment, so you never know what could happen before National Signing Day. But I think as of tomorrow, September 21st, which will be the day before we drop the pod, I think he ends up committing to the Longhorns and stays home in Texas. Next, we're going to move to 5-star number 3 wide receiver Hakeem Williams from Stranahan. He's set to commit on September 23rd. He'll be choosing between Pittsburgh, FSU, Georgia, Miami, Texas A&M, and Alabama. Curtis, where do you think he's going here?
So, this one's a tough one because I originally thought Texas A&M, and what I'm hearing buzz-wise is FSU. So I think it comes down to those two. FSU is going to be disappointed with my prediction though, because I still think Texas A&M ends up pulling it out and getting that W for his commitment. But do not be surprised if he ends up getting his FSU fans end up getting their way and securing that commitment too. But I'm going Texas A&M.
So you're going with the Aggies on this one. This will
Yes,
be the
sir.
first time on this podcast that
We
we
disagree.
disagree with the predictions. So either I'm getting my second one wrong, or
Uh-oh.
you're getting your first one wrong.
I hope it's not me, man. I'm not gonna lie. At least one of us get to stay 100, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with FSU on this one. I think it was Texas A&M for quite a while, but I think Florida State is the program that has surged on late in his recruitment.
Yep.
Now that doesn't mean things don't change before National Signing Day. Like we've said, it often happens where kids will get a change of heart right before they sign the paperwork. But I think as of September 23rd, I think Hakeem Williams is a Florida State Seminole, and Mike Norvell lands the 5-star wide receiver from South Florida.
Hey, that would be huge for him. And like I said, that's who's been trending, right? They've definitely been trending, and there has to be some noise behind that. It's especially FSU trending.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Where there's smoke,
recently,
there's fire.
right, exactly. And recently, what they've shown is that they can utilize a big receiver. So
Johnny
they've shown
Wilson.
that exactly. He's been balling this year, and they show that they could get him the ball. So that's something they could easily pitch and then stand at the crib. So I see it happening, and I think it's 1 and 2. But I got A&M for it. I think when there's smoke, there's fire. There's also oil that could come around and put some more fire in there, basically, just to sweeten the pot. And I think there's some fire to end up getting the oil. You know what I mean?
You're finding roundabout ways to link it to Texas A&M. I
Yes,
respect
sir.
it. But yeah, but without any further ado, man, we've got our guest waiting in the waiting room, so I want to get him on here so we
Get
can
it.
get him talking a little bit. We are joined by 4-star linebacker Karmelo Overton from Carroll High School in Ozark, Alabama. Karmelo, thank you for joining us, man. How you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. What about you?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you again for joining us. We're excited to have you on. Excited to learn a little bit more about your recruiting process, the high school football season for you, and a little bit more about that. However, before we get into all of that, we always like to ask our guests that come on here, outside of football, outside of sports, Give us a little bit about Carmelo Overton as a person, as a student, and as a young man.
Um, I'll start off. I live with my mom. You know, it's been me and her. Both my older brothers, they both moved out. They up in their upper 20s, so they always stay on me about everything. School's really important to me. I right now I'm taking one AP class, but I'm trying to finish out by December so I can enroll for the spring college, before the college in spring. Wherever I decide, I ain't decided where I'm gonna go to yet. Then let me see what else. The football season it's starting out pretty good. We 3-2 right now, and then we just came off a win over in Georgia this past Friday. So this week is our bye week. So we taking that time to rest. I'm 17. Let's see. So yeah, y'all ask me whatever y'all want to know.
Don't tell me that. I take advantage of those type of offers, man. Ask him.
Yeah,
He'll tell you. I ask the tough questions.
yeah,
All right, man. Well, I won't go too crazy with you on the first one. Obviously, you've got a plethora of offers on the table for your services when it comes to the recruiting process.
yes, sir.
What does it mean to kind of have those offers, to have those offers, have those opportunities to play at the next level, regardless of who it's for or what have you?
You know, I mean, ever since I was a little kid, I always dreamed of playing on the big stage. You know, always making it to the next level. Always, you know what I'm saying, trying to make it to the National Football League. That's the ultimate goal. I want to have I want that to be my career. So I feel honored, you know what I'm saying, be ranked top 20 in the state, top 300 in the country, all that. Like, you know, like just to know that the work I put in don't go unnoticed, you know. So yeah,
And then being from the state of Alabama, right? That's
right.
what a powerhouse college is. Do you feel the pressure of sitting there trying to earn that offer, or you just balling how you gonna ball anyways?
Uh, in the beginning of my recruitment, it was always the pressure of, oh, am I capable of playing at Bama or am I capable of playing at Auburn? But over time, like personally, like I started to realize, like, you know what I'm saying, like with college football, you know what I'm saying, you don't feel a piece at every single college. And like I always dreamed of playing at Bama, but I went up there, you know what I'm saying. I took a couple of visits. I talked to the coaching staff, but I couldn't, like, I never saw myself as being a Bama athlete, if it makes sense.
No, definitely does. Definitely. Not every, like you said, not every kid fits there. So you have to find the right fit for you. But like I said, there's no shortage of offers for you. You've got a number of P5 offers, several SEC offers. Is the opportunity to play maybe in the SEC or even against the in-state schools at Alabama that may not have offered you? Is that appealing to you, or how does that work?
Um, you mean as far as me playing in that conference, or?
Yeah, if you have the opportunity to play maybe
Oh,
against Alabama or against Auburn, like, is that appealing to you?
most definitely, always. Ultimate goal is, you know what I'm saying. Like, I mean, like teams like that, like Bama, Georgia, all them top powerhouses. The goal is, you know what I'm saying, go somewhere. You create, like, I want to go somewhere and make change. You know what I'm saying, like make change, make my legacy, change the whole program around, make it to where like people want to go there, or like other teams fear that school because of me.
Yeah, that's real. I was gonna ask the question, but you basically answered it. I was gonna ask if you end up want to create your own destiny and taking down the powerhouses or join the powerhouses, but you answered that there.
Yeah,
So you're one of those players that wants to kind of go somewhere and bring them back to national prominence,
yeah,
as opposed to just joining somebody that's already at the top of college football.
yeah. Now,
Awesome.
I would say I would choose somewhere that's already up at the top, but they haven't had like a dominant player come through type of deal. But like personally, I don't want to go to Bama. I don't want to go to Georgia. Like it's just me personally though, because I mean they already, you know what I'm saying, already got top defensive linebackers at both positions that they came through. Georgia just coming off of the Natty, so
So official visits wise, what do you have set up right now, if any?
Right now, I don't got nothing set up. I'm planning. I may or may not go to Jackson State the 22nd. I still got to get back with Coach on it. I was just talking to him about it a couple minutes ago, but I know that's up in the air. I may or may not take one to Arizona State. That's up in the air too. So it's nothing definitely set yet.
Yeah, and I was gonna. Is that still your most recent offer, Jackson State?
Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna ask if there was smoke over there for Jackson State. How they looking right now?
Shoot, they was looking pretty good last time I went over there in the spring. And you know what I'm saying? I like the atmosphere. And, they just got the number one player in the class of 22 to flip. Go there. So that could be a change too. That's something good happening over there. So I like that.
Yeah, Jackson State's a program that we've talked about pretty extensively on the pod just because it seems like since Coach Prime got there, they went from a program that nobody talked about to a program that everybody talks about.
Yeah.
He's doing great things over there. Got them looking really good this year. Who is it that you speak to over there? Do you have you had conversations with Coach Prime? Who's your primary recruiter?
My primary recruiter is Coach Hart, the linebacker coach. And I'll talk to Aubrey every now and then. I ain't talked to him in a minute though. But I talk to Coach Hart and Coach Pollock.
And what is their message to you? Because I'm always curious about how a program at that level, because obviously they're not FBS or Power Five, they're an FCS program, and they still recruit. Like you said, they flipped the number one prospect in the country last year. They landed
Yeah.
somebody like Kevin Coleman last year as well. What is it that they're saying to you to make you really consider them being a 4 star?
They just always keep it 100. Like like they don't tell no fibs, no lies. They don't try to trick nobody to what I'm saying, try to get stuff in your mind, lose contact, none of that. Like anytime you talk to any of them, it's always gonna be 100. Then like Coach Hart, he always check on me and my mom. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody else really did that. Like just genuinely care for you as a person. I say it like that. So yeah.
If you had to list your top schools right now, what's well, list your top schools. Trying to list them for us.
Jackson State, Arizona State, Mississippi State, Florida, and Auburn.
In that order.
Nah, no specific order.
Do you got an order?
Uh, nah, I really don't.
All right. I'm telling you, I'm gonna grill you though.
So at the end there, did you said Florida and Auburn?
Yeah,
So those schools haven't offered yet, right?
no, not yet.
What are they doing because they haven't offered yet? They're staying in constant communication with you as well.
Yeah, I've been in contact with both of those schools all summer up until now. So right now it's just a process. I'm just going through the process, but I'm trying to wait. Well, not wait, but I'm waiting to figure out where home will be soon.
As I
So
say,
you
I
say you
just
took.
I just saw. Sorry, Curtis. I just saw that you tweeted earlier. What was it? Yesterday? A commitment in
Yeah,
a couple weeks.
yeah,
So you think you're gonna know where you want to go within a couple weeks from now?
yeah. That's the plan. I want to know. I want to know before I sign. So yeah,
Okay. Okay. Any schools kind of? I know Curtis said list your top schools. Any schools kind of sticking out like an early front runner right now, or no, not really.
not at the moment. I,
Okay.
not at the moment. Hopefully soon though.
Yes, I mean, I was gonna ask when you trying to end up wrapping it up, but you said a couple weeks, so
Yeah,
hopefully it comes to you, fam.
yeah. That's the plan. Hopefully over the next 2 weeks. Shoot, I'm ready.
I like that. I like that. I mean, you could always, shock the world. Go ahead and commit on the show if you feel like it. You know what I mean? We go ahead and drop it. Everybody
Yeah,
find out on Thursday. We won't tell nobody.
yeah.
Hey man. So you've got what would you say? You guys are for high school. You guys are 3-2 right now in the state of Alabama. You guys played against Georgia, a team in Georgia. What team was that last week?
Seminole County.
Seminole County. Okay. And what's it like to be able to travel, go to different states, and what's the state of Alabama football like? Because Curtis and I are from Florida, so we're
Yeah,
always going to say that. Hey, we're always going to say Florida high school football is the best in the country, but
Because it
pump
is.
Alabama a little bit. I know
man.
Alabama's got some ballers every
Bama,
year.
Bama, I say Bama is the most underrated in the country because I feel like you could get one of the best teams out of Alabama and put us against somebody out of Florida or Texas, like you know what I'm saying, like how they've been doing like over like the past 3 years. I feel like it's teams of Bama that's able to compete like that, but it's just Bama don't have as much exposure, and you know what I'm saying, everything else as far as like Texas or like as much money that we put into our schools as far as how they do in Texas, like the stadiums and the training rooms and all that. Like, you feel me right now? So that's why I say Bama's one that is probably the most underrated state for football. But
Like,
every year we always got ballers that come out of here though. Every year, yeah, no doubt.
yeah, for that, I don't, knock that because there you got the big powerhouses like Florida, Texas, Cali
Yeah,
that everybody talk about. I think Bama and Louisiana are some underrated states when it comes to high school football. So I
yeah,
definitely give you that. But Florida speed, they call it Florida speed because Florida speed different. It's different out here, man. A
yeah,
3-star from Florida end up drafted first round easy off of being slept on. So
yeah,
it's different out here. Trust.
No, I can't say I disagree, man. Alabama every year puts out high level prospects, and they still don't get talked about as one of the best states in the country. So I definitely don't disagree with you on saying they're probably the most underrated state in the country.
yeah.
Um, so as far as kind of going back to your recruiting process, man, you said you're getting close to being ready to wrap it up. What is it gonna be that ultimately sets that one team over the top to secure your commitment here?
Um, Coach relationships, team history, how many linebackers they already got on roster, environment, the timeline, as far as like if I like, let's say if I decide to change my mind and run track my last year, you know what I'm saying? Like, would the college be acceptable to me finishing out? You know what I'm saying? The last 6 months or whatever my school term. So yeah,
And you brought up relationship with coaches. Is there a specific staff that you have the best relationship with?
not at the moment. I'm talking to everybody, seeing how everybody trying to fill everybody out again right now. So that's the plan with me.
And then track you brought up. You did the 300-meter hurdle.
I did,
Uh huh.
but that wasn't me. It was the 110 hurdles.
The
110
110 hurdles.
yeah.
What you did? You did a 15. What you do?
I PR with a 1505.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, I PR with a 1505. Matter of fact, I PR'd all at the end of the track season. At sectionals, I ran a 15.2, which my prior PR was 15.4. So I PR'd at sectionals with a 15.2. I PR'd in prelims at state with a 15.05, and in finals we ran against Win. So I had ended up running in 15.2, but I got second place. So you know what I'm saying. I'm still trying to go get that chip. I'm still trying to go get that ring, low key. So I want to go back, try to break for that 14. You know what I'm saying?
So you came in second in the states in the 110-meter hurdles
Yeah,
as a linebacker. That's crazy.
yeah.
You don't see linebackers moving like that. So
Uh,
that's nuts. So is there any other events that you do running track, or is it just the 110 hurdles you specialize?
I ran 4x1 my 10th grade year. We got second in the state that year. I ain't running this past year though. I was just coming back off injury, but yeah, this next year if I do stay and run track, I'll be on the 4x1 team and 110 hurdles.
And have you ever clocked a 40?
Yeah,
What'd you run?
4.6.
That's some speed, man. You got some speed
That's
on you. And hurdles, hey, I don't know how you do that. I can't even be running fast while hurdling. I can't do it. Except that there was fireworks. This is one episode of fireworks shot at me and I jumped over a bush. I could do it then, but other than that, man, I can't do it.
Yeah, man. It do take a lot of time though, cause I started doing hurdles my 7th grade year. I've been running them ever since every year. So you know what I'm saying. Over time, building over that muscle memory and the technique. You know what I'm saying. It's same with football. Really, you will never be your best until you learn the technique and tweak it your own. So that's pretty much what I did, really. And if I'm being honest, I ended up changing the whole way I jump. A meet right before sectionals. Matter of fact,
And what made you want to do that? What gave you that, indication to do that?
because I felt like I was running odd. Like my my steps wasn't added up. You know, that's yeah. Like I couldn't get my steps right, and I always like tried to talk to my coach about it. So I had ended up changing the leg that I jump off of.
So yeah, so doing hurdles is extremely precise, and you have to pay a lot of attention to detail with what you do. Do you think that has helped you on the football field with attention to detail and stuff like that? Kind of that
Definitely,
mindset.
definitely. Cause like compared to where I am now and where I used to be, I look at football as okay. Like I see my reads this, but I wanna go straight to the ball. Like you know what I'm saying. But compared to now, like my read to take me like straight to the ball, no matter what type of deal. Like like always pay attention to detail. Always stay true to your real. You know what I'm saying? How to put it? Always stay true to your technique. So yeah,
So we always like to ask everybody this question when we have them on here. You're getting ready for a game on Friday night, or in some cases maybe you're getting ready for your track meet. You're getting ready to run the hurdles, man.
yeah.
You got the headphones on, getting your mind right. What are you listening to, to get yourself either ready to take some heads off in football or run the hurdles properly?
Man, if I'm being honest, bro, y'all can't make fun of me though. I listen to country music. I listen to some old school, and then I probably throw in like a little bit of like rap and stuff from like today, like Nardo Wick, Young Boy, uh, all them.
What
Nah,
about Dirk? What about Dirk?
Dirt, uh, yeah, yeah.
Hey man,
I got
hey,
a couple of Dirt songs in there.
Dirkio better though. You know what I'm saying? Dirkio better than YB.
Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna say nothing personal on that because I mean like I don't like personally I don't listen to the Dirk and I don't listen to YB, but I got my preferences of each type of song from each artist. I say it like that. I say it like that.
Nah, hey, that's real. That's low key as I mean, it's put into perspective somebody who doesn't sit there and listen, so it's non biased. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when it comes down to it, right? Your top Dirk song and your top YB song, which one you rather listen to?
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm real strategic when it comes. I'm like, cause okay, before a game, if we talk about before a game with your team or before a game by myself, I got two totally different answers. If it's me by myself, I'm putting on the Dirt. But if it's me with my team, I'm putting on the YB. If it's me and my home life, if it's me and the rest of the team, I'm putting on YB, no doubt.
Okay, but for you, that means
But
Dirk.
for
That's
me,
that's all I needed to hear.
I put on Dirt if it's me.
Say no more. Me too. Me too. I'm
Man,
putting on Dirk both ways, but
it's been a process over the course of the last few podcasts where Curtis
Yeah.
has been hurt. Curtis, obviously, you can tell Curtis is a big Dirk fan. And
Dirkio
all
better.
the kids have been saying YB, so Curtis has been hurting a little bit. So for him to hear you say if you're doing it to yourself personally, if you're
Yeah.
listening to
It's
yourself
different.
to hear you say Dirk, I know he's very happy this week.
Hey,
Yeah.
Dirk was getting some W's, and then the last like 5 episodes, it been a YB train. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh man. But yeah, man. So Carmelo, before we get you out of here, because we've had you on here a while, I don't want to take up too much more of your time.
So
Um,
I'm getting ready to go back in and order in a little bit. But yeah,
yeah,
man, what's up?
we appreciate you joining us tonight, man, and giving us a little bit of insight into your recruitment, insight into the high school football process for you, and also your track training, everything. But we always like to have every guest close us out with a song for the episode. You said you
Yeah.
like to listen to a little bit of old school country, a little bit of what song should we close it out with?
Ooh, what genre you want?
You can do it. Hey, whatever you want, man. This is your platform right now.
Oh man,
This is your episode right here.
cause I was finna put y'all on a little song that, you know what I'm saying, my mom used to be playing around the house back when I was younger, man. Some of that old school.
Hey, man. If
But
if that's what you want to do, you're more than welcome to. Like we
matter
said,
of
this
fact,
is your episode, man.
matter of
Give me
fact,
that one.
hold on. I got an artist. I'm finna put y'all on right now.
Okay.
Lil Bagum. Li space Baggum. Lil Bagum. I
Okay.
say play load up or top five. One of those two. Play
Load
one of
up or
those
top
two.
five. You know what? He gave us a top five, so we're gonna play top five. Let's go with that one. So Lil Bagum, top five. All right, cool. All right, Carmelo, man, we really appreciate you joining us. Before we get you out of here, just kind of give everybody where they can follow you on social media. Pump yourself a little bit.
Well, matter of fact, hey, I just got the blue check. Fresh off the blue check. Almost a week since I done had it. So y'all go get on my IG at kd.overton. My Twitter is Melo Overton, MELOOVERTON. And my Snapchat is the same. It's the same thing, just Carmelo Overton altogether.
Carmelo, man, we really appreciate you joining us this evening and giving us a little bit of insight. Always a pleasure, man. We'll be sure to tag you and everything when we drop
Yes,
on
sir.
Thursday.
Yes,
And we'll
sir.
be definitely be tuned in for the rest of your senior season and look forward to seeing where you decide to play your college ball.
Yes, sir. Always. Whenever y'all get back on, just let me know.
Definitely, man. We got you.
Definitely.
Uh,
Thank you for being the first guest to put a different artist that I ain't never heard of on here.
hey, y'all gonna love him. I'm telling you right now,
Nah,
y'all gonna love
definitely, definitely.
We're definitely going to be tuned in, man. Appreciate you.
him. Yeah. All right, bet.
All right, man. Good interview. Gave us an artist that I've never heard of before. So I'll be looking forward to
Me
hearing
either.
that one when we drop this episode on Thursday.
Definitely.
Because I
For
always like to,
first time
yeah,
too.
I like to hear it at the end of the episode so I don't kind of jinx, not jinx it, but kind of get a little sneak peek. So, but man, Carmelo gave us a little bit of everything there. Gave us actually I guess you could count that as an official top five. I mean, he said five schools. So a couple schools that haven't offered him yet, but we'll see how that goes over the course of the next couple weeks, nearing his commitment. But really
You know,
appreciate him joining us, man.
I pull those out of them. You know what I mean? I pull those out of our guests' top schools, top fives. This is
Oh
what you
yeah,
get when you listen to Varsity. That's all I'm saying.
always.
You
Yeah,
get
and I don't
exclusives
know
here.
that he's listed any top schools. I was scrolling through his social media feed before we got into everything, and he dropped a top 10 about 6 months ago, but hadn't dropped anything since. Couple new offers since then. So getting that top five in on the episode today was
One
pretty
episode
cool.
in, he just chopped that list in half. You know what I'm saying? That's all it takes. Just come on here, get some exclusives over here. And if you ask me, I could almost put my prediction in for where he going, but I'm gonna hold it off. I'm gonna hold it
We'll,
off
we'll we'll
more
wait
before he
until
puts
we
a
get
commitment
closer to
date.
that time frame. We'll be
Yes,
sure to
sir.
tap in with him, see if he's going to set an actual commitment date or if he's just going to drop it when he feels like it. But when we get that information, we'll be sure to bring it to the podcast and put our prediction in. Got to make sure that we shout out all of the Roll Up Varsity alums that we have onto the podcast because we always want to support those guys. But Curtis, we left off with some scheduled commitments. The first disagreement we've ever had on a commitment on the podcast,
Can't believe I've seen it happen, man.
live and in person.
Let's get it.
But let's get moving on. We've got a couple more
Honestly,
scheduled
I think we're
commitments.
gonna be. I think we're gonna disagree. Maybe we might disagree on some of the next few right here. Well, we got three more.
We've got three prospects from Lakeland High School that are all set to commit on September 24th. We've got Dadrian Zipper, Twan Wilson, Kamari McKinley, all set to announce on that date. I didn't really, to be honest with you, man, I haven't really been tapped into their recruitments too much, so I wasn't really going to put a prediction, was just going to kind of put it out there of the schools that they are down to. I think so. I might be wrong on Dadrian Zipper, but I think it comes down to UCF and Pittsburgh for that young man. He had dropped a top 6, I think, about a month and a half ago or
Right.
so. But I think that the Knights and the Panthers are the 2 top programs in that recruitment. But I'm not submitting a formal prediction because I don't want to get another one wrong.
Right. No, I mean, we're basically on the same page where I think if it's UCF and Pittsburgh, but I think he ends up going Pitt. I think he ends up going Pitt because they've been showing the most love for the longest amount of time. But I definitely could see, because UCF, look, they recruit really well. It's in state, so I wouldn't be surprised.
And he is
it's
one
a
of their top
close,
targets at the wide receiver position. So
and it's close. Yeah,
it
exactly.
is.
It's close. So they're applying full pressure, but and one thing too, Pitt definitely knows how to evaluate wide receivers, as we've seen recently.
Most definitely.
So
I mean,
they can,
Jordan Addison won the Biletnikoff last year, and now he's over at USC. So that's an
NIL
excellent
stuff's crazy.
evaluation for them too.
NIL stuff is crazy,
It
but
is.
that's definitely a way to pitch. Coming over and playing the wide receiver position.
Yeah, come play with us for 2 years and then go get a big NIL deal somewhere else.
Right, exactly. Or you could stay true and get drafted first round still
You
coming
very
through
well
us.
could. Yeah, no, Pitt does a good job of evaluating talent. But then like I said, we've got Twan Wilson, who's down to 4 schools: Pittsburgh, Middle Tennessee State, Jackson State, and Arkansas State. And then Kamari McKinley, who's down to Illinois, USF, Toledo, and Eastern Michigan, along with Dadrian Zipper, will announce their commitment on September 24th. And then Varsity alum, we just wanted to shout out those guys, but 4-star wide receiver Tyler Williams from Lakeland, Florida, will be committing on September 27th. Williams is going to choose between South Carolina, Clemson, Miami, Georgia, and Texas A&M. Curtis, would you like to put in your sticks picks?
My sticks pick for former, varsity alum, Tyler Williams. I think that he ends up going to Georgia, and and this is one of those, I'd be very surprised if he went anywhere other than that, to be honest. So if you were doing it like 247, we put like the prediction number,
like your percentage or your confidence level
I'm gonna
on
put
that one.
9, because
9.
the only reason I won't put 10 is because you can't never put 10. You look like a goofy. You put 10 and he decided to shock the world. So I'm gonna put 9 and look semi-goofy if he shocks the world.
Well, I would like to let the general public know that Taylor submitted his prediction in text, so he can't delete it. And he said Clemson.
I need this screenshot now.
So we know he's going 0 for 1 on his first prediction.
Imagine he shocks the world and goes to Clemson.
And then shortly after that, Taylor put, "I know nothing." So we know how much insight he had to that recruitment.
Hey, if you didn't have to follow up with "I know nothing" after put in your
the Clemson response just told us you know nothing.
I mean, listen, that is just like so far off, bro. Like, it's just.
But yeah, so the only other school that I think really has a shot is Miami. They've been making a late push here, but I have to agree with you, Curtis. I think he ends up a Bulldog. Georgia's been kind of the front runner in that recruitment for quite a long time, and is somebody that I think ultimately secures his commitment. They've recruited wide receivers from the state of Florida pretty well over the last few years, and I think Tyler Williams just ends up being the next one in that line of guys to go up to Athens and play for the Georgia Bulldogs.
100%. I mean, that's where I think he ends up, and I think his ceiling is through the roof. He's been playing the position like a year, something, maybe a little less than
about a year and a half. I think he's been playing wide receiver now, and he's just really starting to scratch the surface of what he's capable of. So ceiling is very high for that young man, and I think he's going to do big things up at Georgia.
No, I agree, and I think
if he decides to commit there, I'm saying that. Let's say that if he decides to commit to Georgia, I do not know where the young man's committing.
Right. I mean, this is all off of our predictions. I think he does great things at Georgia if he goes there, or Clemson if he goes there.
Or if he
But
follows what Taylor said and goes to
right,
Clemson.
right. I think we should have Taylor make predictions off of every kid.
We're
I
gonna
think
have
because
Taylor as our weekly guest picker for
I
predictions.
need that. I need that. I need that to happen.
Just tell him
Honestly.
do no research, see what the top schools are, and give us your predictions. See how well he does off of no information whatsoever.
Hey Taylor, where do you think Hakeem Williams goes? I need. Oh my God, this
He
North
said North
Carolina.
Carolina. I
Let's
like it.
get it. Hey, listen, North Carolina fans, be on commit watch. You didn't make his top schools, but listen
North
to me.
Carolina's not even in the top schools, but hey, Taylor said Hakeem Williams is going to Chapel Hill.
So it actually is going to happen. Let me get Mac on the phone and congratulate him right now. Put the mortgage on it. Taylor said put the mortgage on it, so we putting the mortgage on it. Let's
But
go.
before we go any further into this episode, we're kind of getting off the rails here tonight. We're having some fun with it. Before we get any further into the episode, obviously want to shout out our sponsor, Sativa Doll. Sativa Doll is a veteran-owned company that offers 3 different products: CBD soft gels for you and your pets, and a roll-on for pain relief. The soft gels come from a trusted source that manages the product from seed to sell and is recommended by medical professionals as part of your regular wellness routine. Roll-on's formulated by pharmacists for quick, effective results and has menthol for extra cooling relief. Check out sativadol.com for these products and use promo code Varsity25 for 25% off your order and help support the podcast. Once again, that is sativadol.com. Use promo code Varsity25 for 25% off your order.
Yeah, y'all
Curtis,
go out there and show some love. I talk about it all the time. It's impressive what they could do for pets. So if you're a first time listener, here to spiel again, but it's real talk. They actually make it's like the CBD gels for pets, and it actually works. It's blown my mind. So I can't talk about it enough. Honestly, the fact that they did that, but it's crazy. It actually works. I never would have believed it, but it does. So y'all go show love and get a discount while doing that, while supporting us and taking care of your pet. Y'all love y'all pets. Prove it. Go get that.
I couldn't have said it any better, sir.
You're getting a hype sticks this time.
I
Show
like
love.
it.
You love your pets. Show love and do it.
And with that being said, we'll move on to the commitments portion of this podcast, where we highlight prospects from across the country that made their college decision. Few 2023 prospects in here today, as well as some 2024 prospects. First and foremost, we have 4-star defensive lineman Jordan Renaud from Tyler, Texas, who committed to Alabama over Oklahoma. Was correct on that prediction last week, and I know Curtis as well was predicting Alabama in that recruitment. So we'll put that unofficial sticks picks in there, keep that 100% going. 4-star wide receiver Adam Hopkins from Thomas County Central High School in Georgia commits to Auburn over Arkansas, Kansas State, Texas A&M. Another one that we highlighted last week, where I said that even though Carmelo English decommitted from Auburn, they were able to fill his spot with Adam Hopkins relatively quickly and get another 4-star wide receiver into the class. Now, 3-star interior offensive lineman Janoris Wilson, one of those bevy of prospects from Lakeland High School, committed to Auburn as well over Oregon, North Carolina, Missouri, UCF, and others. A nice commitment there for Auburn as they were able to pull an offensive lineman from the Sunshine State. And then sadly, the prospect that I predicted incorrectly last week, defensive lineman Sam Green from St. Francis Academy in Maryland. I thought being in Maryland, being close to home, I predicted Penn State. When I really had this feeling that it was going to be USC. He ended up going with what I should have picked, USC, committing to them over Penn State, Texas A&M, and Boston College.
Which is crazy because when he announced to USC, I was like, damn, if I made a prediction, I would have said Penn State. So thank God I didn't, because You know what? Actually, I take that back. I would have said USC and stayed 100% from the field. Matter of fact.
It's
But I
funny.
can see why it
I
happened.
tried to kind of cover all my bases last week. I was like, I think I'm gonna go with Penn State, but it would not surprise me to see
Surprised
him
me,
go to
USC.
USC. So
That's what I do with Hakeem. So look, if he goes to Florida State, low key, I need partial credit.
we'll give you 95% on that one.
I'll take it.
But
Deal. I'm
Curtis,
the
we've got a
worst car
couple of
salesman ever. I'll take it. Take it.
we
Not
we
97. I'm 95. Let's do it.
we've got
You'll
a
sign
couple of
today.
2024 prospects, Curtis. If you want to go ahead and highlight those guys here.
I would definitely love to. Let's get over to 2024. 4-star, number 10 tight end in the nation. Joey Olson. He's from Oregon. I would not pronounce his high school. He's decided to commit to USC over Oregon, Penn State, Tennessee, and others. So USC again, doing their thing. No surprise there. And then we're gonna go over to 2024 4-star running back Chauncey Bowens from North Palm Beach, Florida. He's decided to stay in the state, committing to his hometown Gators over the likes of Auburn, FSU, Miami, and others. He attends the same high school as former Gator and current Buffalo Bill that's been balling, a personal friend of mine, my boy, my brother, Kyer Elam. So he's definitely keeping that trend going from that pipeline to University of Florida. Glad to see it.
Yeah, with covering the University of Florida, I know a little bit more obviously about Chauncey Bowens than I do about Joey Olson. I will say Chauncey is an impressive prospect, standing at about 6 foot, 210 pounds, and runs a 10,900 meter. Actually, I think he runs a 10,890 officially, but really impressive speed for somebody of that size. Nice pickup for Florida there, and definitely not the last running back that they will take in the 2024 class. I expect them to sign another one in that class as well. But with that being said,
Another highly ranked one is what I think they're going to end up getting.
I agree with you
Personally,
there, sir. We'll see who it ends up being, but there's a couple of them very high on the board, so
either
we will
5-star or
see.
borderline 5-star.
Yes, that's correct, sir. We'll see how that goes. Still a long way to go in that recruiting class.
Way too
But
long.
with that being said, I want to make sure we shout out our final sponsor, and that is Dying to Self. Dying to Self is a faith based clothing brand that is all about selfless living, designed with various aesthetic and neutral styles of shirts and hoodies with top quality and comfort in mind. Use code VARSITY10 at dyingtoself.co for 10% off your order. Once again, that is dyingtoself.co for 10% off your order.
And if you guys were wondering what's in the background when you get a little peek, that's actually the machine that does, well, I guess he manually prints it, but those are where you get the faces for the shirts and you put the ink and you swipe down and boom. So that's
The
the machine
screen
right there.
printing machine is
Yeah.
behind Curtis. If you're watching our YouTube video, you can
Yes, sir.
see the magic behind the curtain of how our sponsor, Dying to Self, their clothing is made. So Curtis is giving you a little peek behind the curtain,
Sneak
or
peek, sneak peek.
peek behind the Curtis.
Yes,
That's a
sir.
terrible dad joke. I apologize.
Hey, look, I got a few off. You got a dog, it counts.
All right, man. Well, another great episode down. Really
Always love it.
appreciate Carmelo Overton again for joining us this evening. Y'all be sure to follow him on social media. We will drop this episode on Thursday with his Twitter tagged in it. So make sure to
Yep.
follow him and figure out where he is going to finish up his high school career, see if he graduates early, and then eventually where he decides to enroll for college football. Other than that, Curtis, always a pleasure to join you on the podcast. And with that being said,
It's been a great disconnect from work. So it's been real relieving not thinking about talking to customers, selling cars, payments, all that. So I'm happy I get to do this. This is my getaway a little bit.
a little bit of a release.
Yes, sir.
With that being said, Roll Up Varsity, signing off.
Varsity, we out.